Out in the wild with our wildlife correspondent Martin Cohen. Where are we today, Martin?
Richard, I've dragged you to one of my favourite places called Wildlife Habitat up on the corner of the turn-off to Port Douglas. And I've been coming here for a long, long time, and my late partner Julia used to work here, of course. And it's a great place to see some of our local wildlife. I think many of the species here, or the majority of the wildlife here, is local. So you can sort of get to see them it's always sort of a semi-captive. I always imagine that you feel like you're walking in the forest here, even though there is some netting on the two big aviaries, and there's also the grassland area where there is wild roaming animals.
But you can't really see it from where we sit. You get the sense of being in an open space.
Yeah, definitely, and that's what I really like about this facility, is that you really feel like you're amongst them, and the animals are relaxed and they all breed like crazy, which usually indicates that they're very happy. And it's run by some really dedicated keepers. A lot of them are good friends of mine, and I'd like you to meet the assistant manager, who's been here for 12 years, a good friend of mine, Claire. Claire and I travelled to Ecuador and the Galapagos last year and had a ball and saw lots of wildlife, and she's a wildlife nut like me. It's not just a place where people can come and look at wildlife. They do some other things as well that is very important for conservation.
The park itself has actually been here for just over 20 years. Its establishment originally was an opportunity for tourists and locals alike to actually get some insight into the local ecology and to really be able to get up close and personal with some of the local species.
And talk us through some of the species that are here.
The iconic ones are, of course, the endangered southern cassowary. We also have the Lumholtz tree kangaroo, some fairly spectacular wetland birds like the black-necked stork. But we have a huge array of other species as well. Of course, they're all local. They're all Australian natives, of course, and just a huge diversity of primarily bird species.
Do they take a lot of looking after?
Absolutely. Probably more maintenance with the wildlife than there are with the staff, to be honest, including the food bill.
Why is that?
Look, it takes... obviously, with different species of animals require different diets. So there's a huge array of different diets that we have to cater for. And that just includes, we've got fruit-eating species, for example, that not only require, diced up fruit and veggies, but it might need to be different sizes as well to actually cater for those different species. So, you're talking insect eaters, fruit eaters, meat eaters. Some eat leaves like tree kangaroos and koalas. So it's not necessarily something that you can just pop over the road to the supermarket and actually get food. You may actually have to go out collecting yourself.
And in this enclosure around the back, not on display to the public at the moment, in this little box up the top here, if we get up to a little breeding box and have a look inside, there they are, a pair of mahogany gliders. Now, these little critters were thought to have been extinct, and a tiny population was discovered not that long ago in the stretch south of Cairns, in that Tully to Ingham area. They are amongst the world's most vulnerable creatures. They're so tiny and they look so fragile.
Look, they do look incredibly fragile. They're not. Look, the mahogany gliders are an endangered species from our local region. And look, most people that visit the park wouldn't actually know that we have these species. They're actually not on exhibit at the present time. But it's something that, as a member of the zoo industry, it's really important that we involve ourselves in conservation management. And this is a species that at the present time is actually being bred in a number of facilities throughout Queensland at the moment, and hopefully to go throughout other areas of Australia as well. And what we're trying to do is actually build the numbers in captivity so that in the event where there may be, catastrophic disaster essentially to their natural habitat, we may actually be able to release those animals back to the wild.
Kind of an insurance policy.
That's exactly what it is. So here we're actually one of 2 zoos in the country at the present time that are actually breeding the mahogany gliders. So we're very fortunate. Of course, the fact that we're living in that climate where they would naturally be found, of course, assists us with being able to breed them. The temperatures and what have you are very similar to what they would be used to in the wild. So that makes it a lot easier for us to breed, for example, more so than maybe the southern zoos. So at the moment we have 5 mahogany gliders here in the park, and we're looking to breed with 2 of those females.
What makes them so special, apart from the fact that they're endangered? What is it about them?
Look, if you ever get the opportunity to see one, they're exceptionally cute. For those of you who haven't seen a mahogany glider, they're a little bit bigger than a sugar glider. They have this incredible membrane. So gliders have this membrane that goes from their wrist down to their ankle. And that is used for gliding from one tree to another, which is quite an amazing thing when you actually see these animals in flight, so to speak. So apart from the cuteness factor, they're certainly quite a unique looking species. The mahogany glider themselves are a threatened species or endangered species that are only found just south of Cairns, which is what makes them so unique to this area. The fact that they have such a tiny habitat that is really under threat. The last 2 major cyclones that have been through this region have literally gone straight over the top of their habitat. So, you know, there's so many factors that can influence the survival of this particular species that we really need to be aware of and trying to do what we can to ensure this population survives in the wild.
Why are they called mahogany gliders?
That's a good question. Mahogany gliders, they actually have a little bit of a pigment, if you like, or coloration to the fur that is a mahogany colour, which is how they get the name.
And what do they eat?
They have quite a diverse diet. So in the wild, they would eat such things as sap and nectar, and quite readily they feed on insects and fruits and things as well. So in captivity, we always try and replicate the natural diet as much as possible. So when you go in the enclosure, you'll see a big bunch of leaves and flowers and things like that, where they can actually actively seek that. But we, of course, feed them supplementary foods like insects, live insects, mealworms and crickets and fly pupae and all those fabulous squirmy wormy things.
It's like yum cha for mahogany gliders. It's fantastic. You get to spend your days doing something you absolutely love, don't you?
I do, yeah. Look, I think I've got the best job in the world, to be honest. We keep hearing about these people that have the best job in the world, but, you know, to be able to talk to people about our local environment and an area that I'm incredibly passionate about, I feel very privileged to be able to do that. We have such a unique environment in the wet tropics, and to be able to express to people how unique that is and the types of species that we have living here is really quite a fantastic thing to be able to do.
Lovely to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you.